Hi there, guys. Um, I wanted to come make this really short video. I'm going to be having company in a minute, so I want to hurry up and try to make this video that's in my spirit. Um, I've been wanting to kind of make it for a few days, but I didn't really know how to put it together. I think I'm just going to keep it short and sweet and just kind of keep it to a few things that I have noticed and observed in my life and in my experience. And of course, you guys give me feedback on what you think, what you believe, and also what's been your experience. But the funny thing about the public, especially that we have today, the funny thing about the public is that a lot of times when you say something, whether it is your own experience or not, uh, people demand receipts. They demand statistics and things like that. And first of all, I think you guys have probably heard me say before that I don't really believe in statistics. I don't like statistics because at the end of the day, you're not getting everybody. You know what I'm saying? You're only getting a certain majority of people, and depending on the biases or whatever, those who even take the statistics, it could be right or wrong. I've really never. I mean, I'll look at them, but I don't care much for statistics. I really don't. Statistics to me are not facts. Your experience and what you've gone through is definitely facts. Nobody can dispute that or deny that. And so it makes it hard when you talk like that or when you speak like that, and then people tell you to give them statistics. You know what I'm saying? Um, I actually had an encounter like that on social recently on social media. Won't tell which one, but I gave something that I know is going on because I'm a part of it. And the guy comes back and tells me where are the statistics. Like, first of all, I'm not going to do your research for you. I mean, if you really want to know, Google it, whatever. I mean, if you trust and believe in statistics, then, but if a person is in something and participating in something, then I would think that they would be somewhat able to speak on it. So, anyway, this particular video, though, is one I want to talk about, has to do with the just man, this rate of black femicide and just this whole, just the way black women are being treated, they're being murdered, or being killed by black men at an astronomical rate. And it's just absolutely crazy. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it. There was something I wanted to kind of share, but for time's sake, I'll go ahead and just get through what I wanted to say. Because, like I said, I am expecting company. But if I can get to it at the end, I most definitely will. But I wrote about four things down, things that I uh, correlate with a lot of the violence among with black women, um, and in the black community, and so forth. And so these are my opinions. These are what I have seen, what I've experienced, is what is the knowledge that I have absolutely taken in. Um, some things it's hard to give statistics and things like that on. Sometimes you just got to trust somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying just trust me. Um, I'm telling you that these are my observations of what I've seen in situations where there seems to be a lot more violence against, especially black women, because I'm from the black community. Can't really speak on white women's stats or Hispanic women's stats or any other woman's stats. Um, The first thing, matter of fact, I want to say that I actually didn't put down here. The first thing I'm going to lead off with is absolutely patriarchy and religion. Patriarchy and religion pretty much go hand in hand. They are both organizations, or they are both, oh, what is that word I'm looking for? They are both institutions, I'll say, that in a lot of ways signify women as beneath men, less than men, and not as capable as men. Um, that signify women as, not as smart as men. Uh, Supposed to basically be at the beck and call of men, who are basically, you know, supposed to carry out those domestic chores and duties and things for men and their families, and they're basically supposed to be subservient. So those are two institutions that absolutely push and absolutely continue to carry those types of mindsets toward women. And I think with that being the case, it causes a lot of men to, when the woman doesn't fall into that role, well, then she gets called masculine, then she gets called too independent. She gets called hard-headed, rebellious, and all these type things because she doesn't want to fall into those traditional roles, which, in my opinion, absolutely does not serve women at all. And so, um, sorry about that. Um, so those two are very, very major. And I find that a lot of men who subscribe to both of those and very heavily are ones that really push that type of misogynistic type um, behavior. And then when the woman doesn't submit, or when the woman doesn't whatever, men's a lot of times their go-to is violence. That's just the way it is. The next one I wanted to bring up real quick. These men who put a lot of emphasis, and women who believe these type things. Because let me tell you something about subjecting women, and that a lot of that patriarchal beliefs and things like that. A lot of times there's women pushing it. There's a lot of times when men with those type of beliefs go and find women who believe like them, basically to justify their claims, or to say that, yeah, well, my wife don't either, and my wife says she need to go to work, and my wife whatever. He's gonna go find some pygmy mammy made woman who is going to agree with him that, oh well, King, your woman need to be making your food, and King, your woman, she should be running your bath water. Yeah, oh yeah, you go to work, you work hard, and blah blah blah. And it's just crazy because once again, it puts the woman many times in the position that just because he go to work and if he pay the bills, then the woman must be sitting around not doing anything, possibly not working. And even if she is working, she still need to do all these things. And it's a huge double standard. It's perpetuated by men, and it's perpetuated by a lot of women. And one of the things, this is another thing that I was going to talk about, the fact of how these pick me women, these women with these very, very male identified mindsets, are just as much of a problem to women as these men are, because what they do is they help fuel the fire. They help agree with these men. Oh, but she a woman. That makes absolutely no sense, no whatever. um I remember a video. I'm not going to try to veer off too much, but there was it was a TikTok video of this woman sitting in her car, and she was actually a very pretty woman, But just and it surprised me because just the way that she was presenting herself and talking was very masculine, even to me as a woman, and would normally be something that a lot of men would be saying something about, her being so masculine. But because she was siding with men and talking about these modern day bitches and hoes, a man used her on his on his TikTok to prove his point about modern women. And basically her thing was, oh yeah, 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 y'all dudes don't understand, man. These hoes out here broke, and these hoes ain't buy nothing. They looking for somebody to pay their rent, and they trying to get a nigga to trick with for they rent money, and they want somebody to they want somebody to buy them some food, and then these hoes is broke and they ain't got nothing. And it was just crazy the way she's talking. She sounded, if she didn't have that pretty face, just like a dude, just like a dude. And it just it amazes me. I mean, she had nothing but dudes in her, nothing but dudes on the comment talking about, yes, she right and blah blah blah, and she's spilling women's secrets and all that. And I'm just like, that stuff like that. It absolutely, first of all, boils me because that is not true for all women at all. Most women out here are the ones out here making it and taking care of dudes. So many of them, or have their own, to where they don't need a guy to pay their rent and pay bills for them. And like, I don't even know what women are out here waiting for that type of treatment, unless she's a prostitute, some type of paid woman, or just a really silly woman. Especially to be sitting around waiting for a black man to do that for you. Like, I don't I don't know women like that who are sitting around waiting for black men to take care of them like that. Maybe they're out there. I don't know. I don't know those kind of women. But yeah, women who help push that type of stuff and talk about other women. And there's a lot of women also who are out there who will tell women, oh well, you want too much, you asking for too much, you need to go sit down somewhere, you need to just you need to let him just do what not just do whatever, but in so many ways that is almost what they will tell you, that you need to just sit back and submit and just at least he trying, at least he doing this, when they're not in your situation, they don't know the whole thing to it. And so that's another thing that can cause a help, that can help push violence toward women. um Men who really, I'm gonna put two together. Men who really just kind of sit around, don't do anything all day, are very idle, don't work, don't want to work, um have no building skills, have no real mindset to get up and go and do anything better for themselves. They have no goals, they have no ambition. They kind of just hang around and just hang out and hang out with other dudes all day. You know, these are the kind of men who, when they finally get a woman, and don't let them get a woman who really is about something, who really is successful, and who really is after her bag and really trying to go and do something for herself. Many times, these are the men who will, at the end of a relationship, once she finally sees he's not going to do anything, he don't want to do anything, she tired of his excuses, she tired of basically treating him like her son, buying him food while he sit around at her house, not do anything, probably cheat on her more than likely, and play video games and eat up food all day and don't do anything. When she gets sick of that and tired of that and ready for dude to leave, and ready for dude to either get up and do something and really be the man that you say you are and all this kind of stuff, these are the ones that get violent. These are the ones, a lot of times, who are out here killing very successful, very goal oriented, beautiful black women who going out for their masters and their doctorates, and they want to be a psychologist, and she was going to be a journalist, and she was, I mean, you hear these stories all the time. And, you know, many times they are dealing with dudes who don't want anything out of life. And these guys are jealous. These guys are envious of them. These guys have in so many, I think they have in their mind that she could possibly want more and eventually leave them. She may, as she is climbing that corporate ladder or whatever, I don't know, maybe they're telling them stuff like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do better, whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes them mad and to where they get violent or whatever. But that's another set of men that I have noticed, ones who are very idle and who don't have anything going for themselves. These are the ones who, when a woman tries to break away from them, they get very violent. They get very angry. They get, because it's almost like they're in a situation where they have nothing to lose. Like they ain't got nothing anyway. So like, and surprisingly enough, there's a lot of men out there who don't mind going to jail, who don't mind going to prison. A lot of them, their friends in there, their family are in there. They know they finna get what they call the three hots and a cot. They know they're gonna get their needs met. And I've actually heard documentaries and heard people who talk about it not really being that bad. Now, of course, if you get life or, well, life ain't even that bad for some of them because they really seriously have nothing going for themselves, like nothing. And so, yeah, there's nothing to lose. They have so many of these men have an envy, hate, and jealousy and just inward anger, horrible anger toward women. The last people that I'll talk about is, and this may be controversial, but everybody has, at this point, gay people in their families. Everybody. So, this ain't badgering. This ain't talking about. This ain't saying nothing bad. This is just stating a fact. You know what I'm saying? I find a lot of men who grew up with just a single mom or a lot of sisters or things like that. Not all at all. Not even, maybe even a high percentage. I don't know. I'm not giving any stats. I am just saying what I have seen and noticed. Men like that, and who, in a lot of ways, are secretly very feminine. They hide it, or they'll try to hide it, but they are very, very clean. They're very, very well groomed. They're very, I mean, there's feminine things in them. A lot of times they can try to hide it in a lot of ways with maybe overly male aggressive things. But a lot of times you will find those men being very angry toward women, being very judgmental and even abusive emotionally, mentally, and a lot of times physically toward women because they have an innate hate of those women. They are feminine themselves, and it's like a secret competition. And I think a lot of them can't come out and be themselves and be who they want to do because of the stigma, because of just so many things, and so they have an innate hate for the actual woman, and they become violent. They argue with women a lot. They nitpick with women a lot. Like these are the ones, in a lot of ways, who I really believe sit on the internet all day because they ain't doing nothing, and argue and fuss and fight with women all day long. Like that's what they do, and very male identified. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, there has been some personal things that I have seen where the men were a lot more feminine. They just have a certain pattern of things that they do. There, a lot of them are very, very messy, almost like women, but yet they're still given that masculine persona, you know. But it's like a messy girl. It's like a messy girlfriend. I mean, they talk about women, they hate women, they don't, just like a lot of men on these podcasts and things who you find out. or gay or have been gay or whatever. And it's like it all makes sense now. It absolutely all makes sense. But these are just some traits that I've seen and I've noticed and I um, have come to find uh, where there then becomes violence toward women, and a lot of men with these type of characteristics are the ones that will be even the quickest a lot of times to uh, assault a woman. And I just wish women were a little bit more observant, and sadly to say, wouldn't give men as much benefit of the doubt as they actually do. You know, we've seen a lot, we've heard a lot, we've learned a lot here in this, in this time. A lot of things are coming to, they're being seen and shown clearly. And so I really think women need to change a lot of their views towards men and how men really feel, and stop covering up a lot of the deeds and things that you absolutely see and know men to do, but you let them talk you out of it. Like you stupid and you don't see that stuff. You absolutely see it. And I think it's time to start seeing things for what it is. I also think that women, especially black women who live in very, very black male populated areas, uh, need to be extremely careful, need to get themselves things to protect themselves, and don't be so trusting. And um, as well, move out of those areas. That's the big thing I wanted to say. If you can move out of these cities with these high black male unemployment and black male uh, populations, it's not safe for women. It's not safe even for the children, boys or girls. It's not safe because, first of all, for the little boys, beside also being a victim of many assaults of these men, um, is the fact that these men are being in that type of an environment makes it so much easier for that type of behavior and mindset to rub off on your little boy. Like it just really does. And for women, it's just not safe. I mean, it's just not safe. I grew up in the hood. I grew up with men year after year just didn't work, didn't do anything. They set up on the side of stores and gas stations, and you know and they were unproductive. They didn't do anything. They drank and smoked all day and probably did drugs. I didn't know at the time about drugs. I was young, but trying to holler at women, hollering at little girls and all that, and just not productive at all. And like I say, these were the ones who I, even as a little girl, and you can't tell me this stuff ain't still happening because I know it is, would be very scared walking by these men and past these men to go to the store or to go down the street or whatever. And you getting hollered at as a little girl. And when you ignore them or don't say anything to them, which is absolutely the right thing to do, but even then, and even in the time today, you will absolutely get violently assaulted and possibly hurt and killed by even ignoring these guys or not saying anything to them. Like, what else do you do? But that's what I was doing as a little girl because, like I say, I'm scared. I don't know what to say to these. Like, I'm a little girl. I'm 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. I'm a little girl. And I get cussed out, get called bitches and hoes as a little girl because I won't acknowledge these grown ass men who's scaring the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little girl. I remember being 10, 11, 12 years old, just going to my grandmother's house from my mama house because they lived, I'm gonna estimate that as maybe it was under 10 blocks. It was like 5 to 6 blocks or whatever. But the way that I went, it was not, it didn't look like it was a long way to go. And it was very common and it, back in that time to do it and go. Um But yeah, like I'm crossing the street and stuff like that, and I'm a little girl. I'm not wearing nothing provocative. I mean, believe me, if y'all knew my childhood and how strict my mom was and all that, like for a long time she didn't even let me wear jeans. So like I had that kind of mom. And so I'm saying that to say I wasn't wearing anything revealing. I wasn't wearing no tight pants. I wasn't twitching or whatever. I wasn't wearing no half short cut off. I wasn't doing any of that. But I got grown men hollering out of cars at me. And it's only because, as a little girl, I mean, I guess I began to develop early, especially my, up here, you know, but still, even if I was developed, that doesn't give a grown man the right to bother me, or even older teenage boys who I used to get bothered me too, you know. Um, but it's sad, it's frightening, it shouldn't be, and all of that. But um, I had that, and so I know it has not gone anywhere. The black community is so unsafe. The black community leaves much room for those things to continue to go on. And so many times the little girl will get blamed for being fast or hot or womblish or whatever, when stuff like that happens. So many times. Men, once again, are protected, Men are given the benefit of that. Oh, he ain't touch you. He ain't said nothing to you. Now, I've been knowing him 25 years. That man ain't gonna say nothing to you like that. And the child gets like, why would she lie? You know? But until the next video, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. See you next time.